It's been reported by the Telegraph that Mikel Arteta has around 5 games to save his job at Arsenal. Of course, the first of those 5 games is a very difficult tie in the Premier League against Manchester City. There are talks in the publication today that Arsenal Football Club are considering a move for Antonio Conte, the former Inter Milan, the former Italy, and the former Chelsea boss. A very good track record of winning titles and trophies. Is this something that's music to Arsenal fans' ears, or do you believe this is more PR spin from Arsenal to keep you on side? Mikel Arteta is, of course, should be under pressure after a very poor start to the campaign, losing 2 games, not landing a glove on his opponents, and of course, things looking like they're going to go from bad to worse against Manchester City. There's been a lot of talk over the course of the beginning of this campaign that he would have until Christmas, to impress. But could we be seeing the beginning of a very swift end to Mikel Arteta? Arsenal, even his diehard fans, have got to a point now where they're starting to turn their backs. The pressure's mounting. Could the Cronkies, could Edu finally put the final nail in the coffin if the form doesn't improve soon? And do any Gooners truly believe? Do you truly believe that a manager such as Conte would come and manage you as you stand right now? You may believe you do. We're going to open the lines up for you to come on and have your say and tell us what you think and feel. We're also going to do a full transfer roundup for you, as brought to you by the Football Terrace for the past few weeks. Jules Kounde is closing in on his deal to Stamford Bridge. The Saúl Niguez deal is being worked on right now by Chelsea to try and pull off and get done and dusted and over the lines. We've got big news around Cristiano Ronaldo, Manchester United's midfield pursuit, plus any questions you have. Make sure you've smashed that like button. You hit the share button. You subscribe to the Football Terrace. You know what comes next. Here we go. Wrong intro. How are we all doing? Hope we're all wonderfully well. Sorry about that. Played the wrong intro. One-man band and all that jazz. That's going to be one of the first things I invest in actually on the terrace. Is legitimately going to be someone to help support on these shows. Hope you're all doing good. At least my graphics are coming. Listen, bro, your graphics are amazing, my brother. And it's great to meet you on Friday as well. We want more graphics, more to come on the Football Terrace soon. Yeah, my mic is fine. A few people saying it's low. Might be your earphones, bro. But yeah, the mic is good. The sound is good. Thank you to Alan Boyle, for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. That's an amazing thing. Thank you. Humbling as well. A few people are saying the mic is low. And some are saying they can hear fine. I think some of you are spamming. So there we go. It sounds odd. Does it sound odd? Do you know what I'm going to do? The easiest thing to do is get my phone out and listen to it myself. No disrespect to anybody. I'm just going to go onto YouTube and I'm going to play it myself now. What's it saying? Waiting for it to load. My 4G is awful. We're waiting for it to load. We're going to get into the news in a minute. But once we've done the news, then we'll have a little bit of a chat. While I'm doing that, let's get this past 500 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just listen to this sound. Hey, that's bang on, mate. Nothing wrong with that sound there. Nothing wrong with that sound at all. Thank you very much here for the super sticker from G1 Grimlock. Alan, Terry, it dips a bit, but it's okay. Now, do you know what does that? It's StreamYard, legitimately. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn echo cancellator off. When the echo cancellator is on, it really messes the sound up. When you drop from like a bit of music into something else. So that'll fix that now. There we go. No problems at all. But let's delve into this news today. So much going on. at this moment in time in the transfer window. But the Arsenal news is something I really wanted to focus on here. Conte to Arsenal is a topic that's been circulating now for a good couple of weeks. Arsenal fans calling for him, Arsenal fans screaming for him, Arsenal fans wanting him to come in and be very much part of the situation. Now, I'm not too sure personally whether Arsenal have, the minerals to pull this deal off. I don't. And I mean that with all due respect. I don't know if they've got the minerals to pull it off. But Arteta's job being under pressure, it has to be. It has to be. They're playing awfully. There's no togetherness. There is no team ethos as it stands right now. It's a very, very poor situation indeed when it comes to Arsenal. According to the Telegraph, they say here that according to the Telegraph, the furious Italian is a contender for the hot seat at the Emirates in the event the club decide to part ways with under-pressure manager Mikel Arteta. It reported that Arteta has 5 games to turn around the Gunners' woeful form of performances or face a battle to save his job. And the 5 games is interesting because one of those 5 games may actually mean this very simplistic League Cup tie this week. And what I'm finding really, really interesting about the responses I'm seeing from a lot of people at the moment in relation to a lot of updates and a lot of things I'm seeing in relation to Arsenal is I will be fine once we go up against the Norwiches and the lesser teams. And I'm not too sure if that's true. I'm not too sure if I believe that. I'm not too sure if Arsenal fans in their heart of hearts believe it. Is that a bit of a pipe dream? If the performance is against the very best are this bad, they're not laying gloves, what's to say that you are just going to steamroll through the lesser teams? I think that's the real big issue in relation to this. That is what I would say. But I do want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this, there's no doubt. We have some breaking news, though, that we've got to go to right now on the Football Terrace. Smash that like and share button. Here we... Fabrizio Romano has said here that Chelsea are working on both Saúl and Koundé deals, along with an option proposal made to Atletico Madrid for Saul Niguez. No official bid from Man United. Negotiations also for Koundé. Chelsea are still waiting for the Zuma deal to complete. Me and Fabrizio could be pushing out the same news at the moment. Exactly what we spoke about earlier on the Football Terrace. Absolutely spot on in relation to that. There's been the no official bid element. Okay, that Man United are definitely involved. Man United are definitely having serious conversations. No bid may have gone in, but they're definitely involved here. Chelsea winning that race, as I said this morning, even though there was news that came out earlier today that suggested that Man United's signing of him was imminent, my personal opinion was that Chelsea were leading that race. We all know my stance on the no official bid. There's been no official bid yet for Chelsea for Jules Kounde, but there's been major offers being made via intermediaries. So, West Ham haven't officially bid yet for Kurt Zuma, but it's literally a matter of millions, as in personal terms, away from being agreed. So that's not a shocking update for me. It makes a lot of sense that Chelsea are leading that race. Chelsea Football Club they have been looking at him for the majority of the summer, as per Pete O'Rourke. So I'm not surprised to see that update come out there from Fabrizio Romano. No doubt about it whatsoever. That deal is well and truly on its way. And the Saul Niguez deal, what an option. What a deal it could be for Chelsea Football Club. No doubts about it. Terence has the best sources. Not on everything. Just Pete O'Rourke said it weeks and weeks ago on here. He said it's me privately months ago that Chelsea were looking at him. And look, by the way, a number of other journalists through May and June and July also mentioned Chelsea and Saul Niguez. They said just watch out for it. So this isn't a bolt from the blue. It's not a bolt from the blue at all. But Gooners, I want to hear from you. I want your thoughts and feelings. Mikel Arteta, 5 games to save his job. Is that right? And we look here at the poll that we've got out here. And the question in the poll is, do you think Arsenal will sack Arteta in 5 games? 53% of you think yes. 47% of you think no. I want to understand why and what you feel. Alan here says, Terry, Arsenal will lose to City. Then after the international break, will beat Norwich, Burnley, and get a result against Spurs and Brighton and beat Palace. And then the fans will trust the process again. See, for me, when you make a really good point there, and I have to say, when it comes to this situation, I'm just making a note of something here because I don't want to forget to say this. My feeling on this, Alan, is this. Arsenal fans shouldn't be looking at the results of these games. It should be the manner of the results. It should be how do they perform in those games? Are they superior? Are there green shoots of success peeping through? And then how do they perform in these big games? Hearing Arsenal fans say, I don't care about not winning the big games as long as we're beating the smaller teams, is mind-blowing to me. There is this element. I understand that their standards shouldn't be to be where Man City are right now, from where they ended the season. They can't expect to go from that to being peak Man City, peak Barcelona, peak invincible Arsenal. But there has to be an expectation to be more competitive in these big games. And barring when they play Manchester United, they're invariably not. That's going to be a big one to me. Paul here says, Terry, I don't think Arsenal will sack Arteta because he will turn it around in 5 games. Well, if he turns it around in 5 games, then absolutely, that's a great, that's your thoughts and feelings. You know, we had Harry on yesterday who very much said that he thinks that it will be turned around. He thinks that they will improve. They think that it will move forward. Showstar in the house. I'll send the link out in just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this stream past 500 likes and we're going to get the callers on, please. We'll get the callers on to have their say. We've got some other interesting breaking news as well that I want to bring to you now, ladies and gentlemen. Smash the like and share button. Let's do this. Cristiano Ronaldo sees himself as a Manchester City player before the window shuts. He has spoken. It says here, he has spoken to a number of City players and he feels a deal can be done by the weekend. Cristiano Ronaldo reportedly on his way to Manchester City if a deal can be done. And that is huge. That is gargantuan if true. That is mahoosive if true. Cristiano Ronaldo is Manchester United royalty. Could he be about to join Man City? My thought and feelings on it are very, very simple. Very, very simple indeed. It's all dependent on Tottenham. All dependent on Tottenham Hotspur. If Spurs enable the Harry Kane deal to go through, of course Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't join Man City. If he doesn't, City need a striker. City need a goal scorer. City needs someone to come in and put the ball in the back of the net. They need it. Lukaku has changed the game. And because Lukaku has changed the game, they've got to do something about it. They've got to react. They simply have to do it. They have to do it. Now, am I going to be happy to see Ronaldo at Man City? Not in a month for Sundays will I be happy with that. Why could I ever be happy with that? The greatest football player to ever play for my club in my lifetime. Now I'm talking technical ability here, everything else. But for me, I can feel like it's happening. We did a story the other day that got ripped into, and a lot of journalists called it out as false. The Man City claims were false. I'm going to have to revisit that article and amend the article, I think, and say, we've changed our title because this journalist here that said it was fake was a liar. Maybe we've all been lied to. Could Cristiano Ronaldo legitimately be on his way? On his way. It could happen. It could happen, ladies and gentlemen, and it makes me scared. It makes my little heart scared. Legit. Makes me a very scared little boy. Makes me feel like a scared little boy. I don't want to see it. I don't even care if he's finished. I don't even care if he's past his best. Seeing him in that blue shirt, for me, is hell on earth. Hell on earth. Hell on earth. And I'm concerned. Very, very concerned indeed. Going to share the link now for you to phone up and have your say to come on the Football Terrace now live on the air. We're talking Arteta. We're talking Jules Kounde. We're talking Saul Niguez. What's going to happen in these scenarios? I need that like button smash though, people. We're still nowhere near the 500 mark. You need to get that done for the Terrace right about now. Get that done, my wonderful, wonderful people. I'm going to share the link. The link's been... Oh, I put it into the wrong category, into the wrong box. Actually, do space. Need another N on that. There we go. That's been now pushed out here. Someone's also told me to check out Fabrizio Romano's tweet about Cristiano Ronaldo. What has he said about Cristiano Ronaldo? Or an update from Fabrizio about Cristiano Ronaldo. I haven't seen it. I don't know where that is. If anyone knows where that is, copy me in and I'll have a look. And I'll have a little tinkle on it. Absolutely smash that like button, my people. We're actually one of the worst communities for hitting the like buttons. I don't really get it. Cole here says, have any Man City players ever won a European trophy? No. But that don't make me feel any better. That don't make me feel any better right now. It doesn't make me feel any better. Legacy gone is what someone here says. I don't know about legacy gone, but it will take a shine off it for me. Like, it will take a little bit of a shine off of it. And I don't even know what it is anymore, but it most certainly will. Just won't quite feel right for me. Won't quite feel right. But there we go. Makes me sad. Arsenal became weak the day the Cronkies took over. Wenger gone, Emery gone, Arteta in the dumps without investments, like Chelsea or City's owners, very much heading for mediocrity, like Liverpool had for 30 years straight. You've got to remember, Arsenal are nearly 20 years now into that 30-year cycle. The scariest element for Arsenal fans must be, do we look like getting out of it anytime soon? The FA Cups have, of course, been a nice little, was it 3 or 4 FA Cups in the last 5-6 years, which is great, but they have to look to push on. They have to look to push on beyond that. We're going to start getting some calls now. We're going to get Brandon on, first of all, to have you say, big Arsenal fan in the house. Let's do this. What you saying, mate? How are you? You're on mute, buddy.
Not too bad yourself, mate?
Yeah, I can't complain at all. What's your take on this news? First of all, Arteta 5 games to save his job. The second element, Arsenal discussing the possibility of bringing in Conte.
That's what it is, Terry. It's all talk, mate. It's all talk. As far as I'm concerned, the guy's time's up already. He shouldn't be here. It's as simple as that. He should be at the job centre. He's signed 13 players, handed out 8 contract renewals. We spoke about the game the other day. Out of the starting 11 that played, only 3 players were not signed by Mikel Arteta. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's had his time already. He should be done. He should be down the job centre. As far as this talk of 5 games, it's a load of rubbish, mate. We already know as Arsenal fans that he's going to be here till Christmas at least, because that's the way our football club is run. They haven't backed him with £130 million worth of money just to sack him in 5 games' time. It won't happen, mate. And as far as Antonio Conte is concerned, he ain't coming anywhere near Arsenal, mate. He didn't want to go to Tottenham. And Tottenham are a better running club than Arsenal at this precise moment, in my opinion. It's as simple as that. The guy, he said in an interview that he likes to have a challenge, he likes to have a project. He's looking at that Arsenal project right now, mate, and he's saying, what a shambles. What would actually draw Antonio Conte to Arsenal? Because I can't see anything other than money, and I don't think Antonio Conte is all about money. I'd love to have Antonio Conte at Arsenal. I really would. But seriously, Arsenal fans, get it out your head. It's not happening. It's not happening. He'd be the perfect manager for me, in my eyes, because a lot of people are saying about his style of play, and maybe it won't suit us and that. I'm not bothered about style of play as long as we're getting results. And at the moment, we're not getting results. And that is the biggest problem. And like you said in the beginning of the show, Terry, there's no even guarantee that we can beat the smaller teams. I'm not confident going and playing against Norwich. Do you know what I mean? Because we're that much of a joke and a shambles at the moment under this manager. The one thing that Antonio Conte would bring to Arsenal, that I think we need more than anything else, is he don't take no crap. He will outline what he wants, where he wants, what players he wants, how much money he wants, And, you know, if you're not doing the business for him, you're out the door. And the guy gets results as well. So as much as I'd love him at Arsenal, mate, it ain't happening. Forget about it. It's not happening.
Mate, I hear you on that. If you put in the comments saying there was an echo, I couldn't hear any echo at all, so I didn't know there was an echo. So I apologize there, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't have the comments up in front of me when that was going on. Mate, I hear you. I you know what's funny? The Conte talk I can't buy into. But what would frustrate me massively as an Arsenal fan is this notion of why do we have to wait? Why do we have to wait until December? If the results are not good enough, go. It's not like he's been here. It's not like it's not like he took over in March and this is his first start to a proper season. You know, you've got 2 years of him being here now, and it just seems to be going backwards in a very, very big way. So I totally get you. I totally get your thoughts and your feelings on that, mate.
Again, mate, this is the problem. The excuses from the fans. Again, I was hearing at the weekend, it's only the second game of the season. No, it's not. He's been here 18 months. He's not a new, fresh manager who's just come in. He's been here 18 months, and he's had his time. You know, he should be at the job centre. Simple as that.
I get that completely. Top man, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it. And viewers, sorry about the echo situation. That's the problem. When you have the echo turned off, right? The echo cancellator turned off. It makes my sound better when I'm by myself. And then you add people into it, and it all goes wrong. StreamYard is just awful for that sometimes. Like legit, it is. You can phone up and have your say. I've shared the link again. I'm going to pin it actually to the comment section if you want to phone up. But smash the like button for us, people. Let's get this past 500. We want your thoughts and feelings. Showstar is with us next on the Football Terrace to have his say. Welcome, buddy. How are you?
What are you saying, Terry, big man? What are you telling me? You good, yeah?
Yeah, mate, I'm really, really good indeed. I'd love to get your take on this story from the Telegraph today that Arteta could be gone in 5 games' time. Is that too quick? Is it not soon enough? Do you think it will happen? What's your thoughts?
But look, my thoughts is you shouldn't have been here in the first place. You know, I think competent owners would have actually taken on the possibility of having a brand new manager that's never actually done this job. It's such a big job. You know, put all of that pressure onto one person and then try to at least thinking that that's the club moving forward was a stupid idea in the first place, man. Like, to be honest with you. So by saying that, I don't think he should be here already. I've seen some of the stuff that's been going on. I look at pre-season, the last 2 games of our pre-season, including the 2 games that we've played now. I know a lot of people will say, oh, it's because of Aubameyang and Lacazette ain't playing, why we ain't scored no goals, but they were playing in the 2 pre-season games. We actually have no goals. Not one, and not one of them is actually a victory. That should tell you something. I mean, before when we was in pre-season and we was going through all of this, everyone was saying, oh, relax, it's only pre-season, it's only this and it's only that. And then now you look at it and it's like first 2 games into the season. And again, now everyone's saying, oh, it's only 2 games. They were hard games. Brentford should not have been a hard game. We should have at least got more shots on target. We should have bagged more goals and we should have at least won that game. We didn't. We convincingly lost. Again, with Chelsea, I know it's going to be like, you know, oh, well, it's Chelsea. What did you expect? Boy, we expected at least a goal. Our first home game of the season, you at least score a goal. Do you know what I mean? And then, you know, taking it into that thing where you're saying that the owners have given him the first 5 games of the season and then therefore they'll sack him. I don't believe it. I think they've invested way too much money into him in order for them to actually turn around and give him 7 games of a season and then turn around and then, you know, go and give it to somebody else. And then if you're thinking that Conte is going to be the guy to actually step in next, then it kind of goes against everything, doesn't it? Because I mean, all they've done is they brought in youth players, which again, I was on the space last night and, you know, a couple of the Chelsea fans informed me that he doesn't really bring in youth players. I mean, I pretty much knew that, but I thought like, you know, there would have been 1 or 2. I think the only one that they could actually confirm that he actually did bring in was Christensen. That's the only youth player that he's actually brought through in terms of, you know, through the Chelsea project and that kind of stuff. That should tell you everything that you need to know about whether he's going to be next on the list for Arsenal. But because one of our main concerns right now is that we don't have any experienced leaders in the team and people of that ilk. So I don't see how we would come into a project like this, seeing the youth that's there, the players that we have. Obviously, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to want money. These guys have just spunked 130 on Mikel Arteta. So now, and this is another reason why I truly believe they're not going to sack him within the 5 years. Because again, for them to actually sack him now, they would have to admit that this whole process that they were trying to convince us to invest in, it failed. It was a failure. And I don't see billionaires really admitting they were wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not really them, is it? So, and you know, I would absolutely love Conte. I don't care. Everyone says he doesn't play beautiful football. And listen, we had Wenger for 20 years. You know what I mean? We won 3 titles under him, and then the rest we didn't. We won a couple of FA Cups. He was playing beautiful football, but it was never enough. Top 4, we was consistently in, yes, but even to us fans, that wasn't enough for us. So, I mean, I would love Conte. I don't care about his style of football as long as he actually won things, but I don't think he could win things with the players that he would have at his disposal. He would want more. He would want more money to invest into the squad, and I don't see that happening, man.
Mate, do you know what? I totally buy into what you're saying. I think the Conte situation is interesting because I've always felt that Mikel Arteta was more of a pragmatist than a manager who plays on the front foot. And again, Gooners hate. I remember praising you about a year ago when it started to yield some results, and I was like, I can maybe see what his plan of action was. And Arsenal fans hated being called like pragmatist, but it's what you were. Antonio Conte is the ultimate pragmatist. He just does it to a much higher level. So the style of footballs, I don't think would be the issue to transition from. It's the quality of player. And Antonio Conte, like as you say, he turned away from Spurs because they lacked the ambition. He will probably. I wouldn't be surprised if he talks to Arsenal because why would he not? Like you have the conversation, but I don't think they can match his expectations. I do think this story is coming out as a way of we want to keep we want to get the fans in the stadium. You know, okay, yeah, you know what, you know, 5 games he could be gone. If he is gone, look, we're looking at Conte. I think it's all just to keep the fans on side. And like I said the other day, too many Arsenal fans are cucks. And this is an example of it. They'll buy into this news and say, but it's all going to be okay because we'll go and get a Conte or we'll go and get... You won't. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Even you just won't for me. I just feel sorry for Arsenal fans really in relation to that. I really do.
Well, in saying that...
Yeah, go on. No, go on.
No, I was going to say, like, so I don't know, like, would you think that is something that's being spread by the actual Arsenal board or like, you know, the journalists from Arsenal that's saying, oh yeah, he's got 5 games, the kind of thing? Or do you think that would be a reporter that's coming out saying, you know, just making up clickbait and stuff like that? Because I mean, if that came out from Arsenal or, you know, a journalist of Arsenal, then really and truly what that does is that puts Mikel under more pressure to perform. But then on top of that, it would turn the fans straight away. So that's where you'll start seeing more boos and more Arteta routes and when you put across news like that. So it'll be interesting to find out exactly where that news has come from, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing for me is because it's from the Telegraph, I tend not to think clickbait as such. You know, you have very good journalists over there. I think though, this is how we know. I think Arsenal's board changed their minds like the weather. And I've always felt that the Arsenal board are the kind of board that will, if they throw Arteta under the bus, it protects them. We bought quality. It's just this manager couldn't get the quality out. And there's a lot of fans that think that. There are a lot of like most of the Arteta out crew. I'm not saying that they're cronky fanboys, but they're like, well, we spent this money. They're Arteta signings. He's the one that wanted Willian. He's the one that gave that money to Aubameyang. Brandon, who come on, said it. Like, these are all Arteta's players. These are all Arteta's people. So there is this. I wouldn't be surprised to see Arsenal Football Club buy into that and say, well, that's how we'll frame this narrative. We sacked the manager because we invested over £200 million and didn't see an improvement. We're going to go and get you a manager now that can get the best out of this bunch of players we bought in for you. What that does, it gives the board time. Because the majority of Gooners will say, well, I'll get behind the new manager. You're all going to give him a year, 18 months until you start to really judge him. And it gives them another 18 months of doing whatever it is they like to do. But the problem is that repeats. And until you start to see genuine changes, how they're operating, what they're doing, it's going to be a tough one for me. In terms of one other thing I want to speak to you about while you're here, Show.
Yeah, go on.
Is obviously Koundé, Saul Niguez, big deals looking like they're heading towards Chelsea. I mean, one, how good of players do you think they are and what impact do you think they're going to have on Chelsea in the Premier League?
I will be deadly honest with you. That Jules Kounde guy, I'm not really too clued up about him. I mean, I've heard good things, so that's good. Saul Niguez, I've seen him play. He's an absolute baller. That bred there instantly. I don't know who he would replace in Chelsea's team, though. That's the only thing. Like in terms of their midfield and that, I don't really know who you'd replace, but he would definitely add. This is where we're talking about now. When we talk about, you know, in terms of stature of club, like Chelsea right now, they've got their ready-made cake. The cake is beautiful. They've just added the icing and the cherry right now. You know, like they're cool. Like they're just literally just fixing up around the edges to actually turn into a, you know, a competitive title-winning team. I already think, me personally, they're already there. I think Chelsea are probably going to win the title this year. That's been my prediction from the beginning. But now what they're doing is they're adding more depth. Like imagine Chelsea right now, as it stands, already have a second team. I saw a wicked stat. It was a lineup, right? And on one side you had their best players, and on the other side, so Chelsea could actually play. Both their teams could play each other, and it would be a competitive game. And I was looking at that, and I was thinking, now that is what you call depth, and devastated depth. You know, these are the kind of guys that could have an injury and they wouldn't even be fussed by it. It'll be like, yeah, well, he'll be back soon type thing. Do you know what I mean? Or barring Lukaku. But then they still got Werner. I know they don't see a lot in Werner, but, you know, he will still add something for them. You know, he's still a quality player, I truly believe. Anyway, you know, their team is just so stacked. And what they're doing is they're selling off the ones that they don't necessarily want, and they're replacing it with people that are, you know, they're already first teamers in the squad that they're already playing for. So, you know, you just hats off to Chelsea, man. They're a brilliantly run club. They're definitely on the upwards trajectory, and I see them winning the title this year. I promise you. It flipping pains me to say that. God, Jesus, does it pain me to say that? But I think they're going to win the title this year, man. I think they're going to do it.
Mate, I don't think people should look beyond them. Listen, show top man for coming on, mate, and we'll speak to you again soon. Thanks, brother.
Always a pleasure,
best, mate. Thank you. Olu here says United's priority in midfield position is Camavinga. There's an interest in Saúl, but no bid. And listen, I agree with that. I think that Camavinga would be. I replied to a tweet earlier. Camavinga is the medium to long term solution they want. I think Ruben Neves is on Man United's list before Saul Niguez. I think the reason that we've made the inquiries and had the conversations today, and we have made the conversations, Man United have spoke to them around what the deal would look like, because United are looking at it as a safety option. Should Chelsea pick up Tchouaméni, which they're also working on, they may not then go for Saul. Man United are going to go for a couple of players first, Camavinga being one. They're still trying to work out a deal for Ruben Neves, but those deals may not come to fruition, so they're then going to look at the Saul Niguez deal. This is very natural and normal in transfers for a club to work on 2 or 3 at the same time in conjunction with one another. It'd be stupid to put all your eggs at times into one basket. Look at Chelsea with Lukaku. They were working on a Haaland situation. No shadow of a doubt in my mind. But they carried on working on the Lukaku deal adjacent to it, so that when they had to strike and go in a different direction, it was ready. Imagine they just bummed around all summer thinking, Haaland will be all right. Then it doesn't happen, and they've got to start from scratch for a new player. Very hard. Arteta won't be sacked. He will use COVID and injured players as an excuse, is what's being said there. Thank you very much here to Patrick, who's become an official squad member of the Football Terrace. Thank you very much indeed for signing up. Next on the show, we're going to go to Zion. Zion is a Chelsea fan. We've got young Samuel backstage and a plethora of our Football Terrace contributors out there. A few people telling me that Sarr is done. Sarr's over the line, is now a Tottenham player. That's what Leaf has said, probably. I thought he was done earlier. I thought he was done yesterday, to be fair. A few things that I read. But yeah, Sarr's now a Spurs player. The window really hotting up as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. But Samuel's on with me next. Smash that like and share button. Let's do this. I meant Zion's on with me next. Samuel's afterwards. Z is a Chelsea fan. What are you saying, bro?
Well, you're right, Terry.
Yeah, I'm very, very well. Give me your take on this Jules Kounde and Saul Niguez take. I mean, imagine that. Koundé, Niguez, and Lukaku is your 3 main bits of business this summer. Doesn't get much better, does it?
No, not really. I mean, it's smart business. Like I said, it's very smart business. I mean, people were moaning about Jules Kounde, saying, we've got Chalobah. You know, he's upbringing academy player. You know, Tuchel believes in him. And I said, you know what, fair play. He's done very well. He did very well against Palace. But I'm looking at Koundé as that possible replacement for Thiago Silva, because people aren't looking at that. Silva signed a 1-year deal. He's going to leave next summer. There's no doubt, unless he extends 1 more year. But we need that long-term longevity centre-back. You know, Rudiger, obviously, he's going to sign a new deal along with Christensen, but we have the depth in the centre-back positions as well. We've got depth in the forward lines in the midfield, but you want to have depth in the defence as well. So I'm very happy with the Koundé deal. I think it's an absolute brilliant player, I think. Ball playing defender. He's very good on the air as well for his height as well. And I think really, really looking forward to that deal. The Saúl Niguez, I actually thought, Liverpool he was linked with Liverpool. United were, looking at him as well. Chelsea, I think, obviously I saw the links with Chelsea a couple of weeks before, back. But then this week he's finally getting a bit, more into that we might get him. I love Saúl. I think he's an absolute baller. I think he just hasn't had, the grades of 18 months at Atletico. Maybe he's not fallen out with Simeone, but Simeone, I don't think he's in his plans anymore. But he's an exceptional player. He can play multiple positions as well, in the midfield. And I think he's a really good player as well. And I think we can get both of them over the line. It's been a great window.
Yeah, no, I totally, I think it's been an amazing window. If these deals come off for Chelsea, the strength in depth, and it's one thing I've argued with a lot of Chelsea fans with all summer, where they've said, I remember when you were linked to Rice, and many Chelsea fans, we don't need a midfielder. We don't need a midfielder. It's like, well, maybe not in the short term, but you have to think that some deals are done to future-proof your club. And the Saúl Niguez deal is brilliant because it means you have an option next summer to either keep, if you bring it off, to keep him, or to look elsewhere. And it just gives you a kind of get out of jail free card in case something goes wrong and you can't get Declan Rice next summer.
See, look, this deal with Saúl Niguez, I think it's very good. It's very smart as well. It's a loan with an option to buy. We get Saúl for this season because, in my opinion, we have midfielders, but I don't know if Tuchel's going to play the likes of, Loftus-Cheek, Barkley and all these type of players. We got Kovacic, Jorginho and Conte. Those are our three main, players that play in that midfield. I think bringing Saúl in, that fourth choice, it'll be very good because you can rotate then with Conte, because Conte obviously now in 31. He's right now 31, I think. So, we don't know about him. Is he going to get injured? Is he going to stay fit? He'll try his best, obviously, to stay fit, but, you want to have that extra bulk in that midfield. We've got a lot of games. Remember, we've got to go, to that Club World Cup we're going to play in December, in January time. We've got to go to, there's a lot of games, this season happening, FA Cups, Carabao Cups, Champions League games. So you want to have the depth in the squad, especially in that midfield, where I think the most of the battles are won in games, in my opinion. So I think adding Saúl, it's a loan to, an option to buy. That's the best thing about it. If we don't like Saúl, he doesn't do well, this season, we can send him back to Atletico and then go for Declan Rice. It's a smart move, because if it was just a fee, say about 50 million for Saúl, Chelsea wouldn't have probably gone with it. I think they would have pay 50 million more, we can get Declan Rice then. So they'll probably would have backed away. But if it's a loan with an option to buy, which it looks like it is, I think it's very smart.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Could not agree with you more on that, mate. Great call, Zion.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much indeed. Let's take a look at some of your comments coming through here. Ronaldo insisted it would be very difficult to play for City due to his love of United. To play for City, not United, I'm not going to do that, he said. Well, look, there's still some reports. I've been sitting here, people sending me things through, some suggesting that there's been no contact between the clubs yet. Look, I'll wait to see on this one. Let's wait to see on this deal going through. It's just something about it don't feel quite right to me. What is up with this Ronaldo City news? As we just say, TJ, it's not the first I've heard of it. We've heard about it a few times this summer. I don't necessarily think it's true. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. But of course, we have to speak about it. It's trending news right now, and that's what we do on the terrace. We speak about the trending news. We talk about what's being said. We talk about what is going on and what is over the line and everything else along those lines. And there we go. There we go. Hang on. There is an update here as well. This is for the Spurs fans. We'll do a little break. Sparta, Sarr to Tottenham, 15 million euros. Here we go. Spurs web sharing that earlier on today. That looks like it's done and over the line. I know that Leaf's watching, and Leaf, that's for Leaf. That's for you, Leaf. That is for you, Leaf. We're going to get Samuel on the show next. We're talking Mikel Arteta. Should he lose his job? Will he lose his job? We want your thoughts and your feelings. Big Telegraph report today that he has 5 games to save it. Jules Kounde and Saul Niguez in advanced closing in talks with Chelsea. Man United reportedly interested, but as I've said all day, Chelsea leading that race. I'm not having it played down that Man United are not trying to sign him and are not in this race. That's what Man United are going to do. Man United are going to try and play it down because we're second in the race or third in the race, whatever it may be. No, Man United are attempting to sign him as well. But as it stands, Chelsea have got a better dealing with Atletico Madrid. They're further down the line with the player, and he's more likely to join Chelsea. People have just got to accept it instead of seeking this, not fake news, but seeking these PR updates of just, well, we weren't in for him anyway. We didn't make any official bids. Everyone's bored of that now. When you start reaching out to his reps, that means you're trying to sign him. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to sign him. Let's have it right. No BS. Let's get Samuel on now to have his say. Let's go, people. A nightmare tonight with these buttons, I'm telling you. What you saying, Samuel? What you saying, bro?
Bro, I mean, it's going to happen soon. I mean, it's just a matter of time before mikel gets sacked from Arsenal. I think he's lost. I think an overwhelming majority of the fans have lost his support, my support, even my support. I don't back him anymore. If you want, I went to the ground to the match on Saturday. And listen, the mood around the club is no one has confidence in the guy. You know, even you can see in the team. I think there's been reports from the training ground that some players, you know, they're not really a big fan. They get lost in training. They don't know what he's talking about in some of the training sessions. It's hard for them to understand Mikel Arteta. As for our replacement, Antonio, listen, one of the best managers in the world, Antonio Conte, is sitting right there for us to take. And there's no compensation fee because he's a free agent. We don't have to go to another club and pay, say, £2 or £3 million. He's right there. We can just negotiate with him straight away with him and his agent. As for the I look at the fixture list now, Terry. You know, we've got Man City. Then we got we've got probably 2 games that are winnable against Norwich and Burnley. After that is Tottenham. But by October 18th against Crystal Palace, I don't see him being here. By October 18th, because listen, the way we're playing, I doubt we can even beat Burnley or Norwich, because everything in the club is poor. Yes, we've gotten rid of some players, but and I said we're going to bring in midfielder right back. We've got a week, literally 1 week before the deadline day. We've had 3 or 4 months to get a couple players in a right back.
I've got to go to some breaking news. I'm very, very sorry. I'll be back with you in a few moments. Big news, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my! News here from TalkSport that Real Madrid have made a £160 million bid to sign Kylian Mbappé. He has told PSG he wants to leave. Now, we know TalkSport has a mixed history when it comes to their accuracy, but this is the breaking news from them that Real Madrid have submitted a bid of £160 million for the player. Now, what is very interesting to me when it comes to this is that a lot of the times when the TalkSport say that a bid's gone in, you'll probably see it very quickly, no official bid's gone in or no direct contact between the clubs. I don't ever care. Do you know what that is now code for? It's gone for an intermediary, bruv. That is what that means right now. But that's the news from TalkSport, that a bid of £160 million has gone in. Do you believe it? Do you think it's going to happen? I honestly see Kylian Mbappé being a Real Madrid player this summer. It's just starting to feel like it may progress in that way. Of course, people are going to wait to see a big tier one push out this news, a European tier one more than likely. But let's watch this space on this one. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it transpires. Haaland next year? Who knows? I'm going to go back to Samuel, though. Me and Samuel were chatting and talking. Back to your point, mate. Sorry.
No, I was going to go to the Mbappé. I said it a few months ago. I said this is going to be the biggest transfer window in footballing history. And as of right now, it's showing that, you know, Messi going to PSG and potentially Mbappé going into Real Madrid. What I can sort of understand the point of them trying to sort of Mbappé, you know, I think his contract expires next year, so they're not going to take the gamble of losing him on a free. So listen, £150 million, I think it'll be possibly the signing to bring La Liga back on the map, bring Real Madrid back up where before they were with Ronaldo. As for Mbappe's situation, I mean, you're right there with Messi and Neymar, literally a super team. Messi and Neymar literally there. I mean, I would just wait one more year, probably sign a 1 year extension, just play 1 year with Messi because this is a dream team. Literally, everyone. I know we're fans, and Mbappe has his own decisions, but as fans, we just want to see Messi and Mbappe play together, and Neymar, because that'll be something special. But listen, I don't know where Real Madrid are getting this money from because apparently they were in debt.
Yeah, but you've got to remember, see, this is the thing. Net spend is not real. So that's first and foremost. They have saved millions and millions of pounds, but with the players that they've allowed to leave. Just the salary of Varane and Ramos combined is about £20 million plus a year. So this deal, £160 million cash, isn't going to be paid instantly. It's going to be paid in installments over a 5-year period. So year one costs for the player, including fees and agent fees and salary, are probably somewhere in the region of about 40 to 50 million pounds. So they don't need 160 million pound cash right here, right now. They just need to know, with fans returning, that they've got to be in a position each year to pay the fee, which, we work it out now. Like, it'll probably be a 6-year deal, but let's say they're paying it over 5 years as an example. What's that? I don't even know what it is over 5 years. That's going to be about 32 million a year. Plus, what's he going to be earning salary wise? 20 million pounds a year, probably, a player like him. What's that a week when you divide? That's like 350. I mean, that's 380 grand a week. That's probably overshooting it a little bit. Pounds wise, probably say 15 million. But either way, let's just say it's 20 million. It's 53. They need 52 million this year. The salary of Ramos and Varane combined is about 40 odd million. So they're not having to find 160 million pound because net spend isn't real. So they've got the money there. That's what it was. When you go back to the original talks about Varane and Ramos, it was seen as they're doing it to reduce their outgoings so they can afford Mbappé. Just nobody thought Mbappé was gettable. And he's moving now. It makes sense with PSG. They don't want to lose him on a free. Take the 160. Remember, they were very close to not being able to afford Messi because of FFP rules. The scary thing for me now is, and maybe this is something we've missed. Maybe this is, someone here says, Terry, TalkSport are not reliable. I didn't say they were reliable. I'm just showing you the news they put out, and it's your job. Stop telling me who isn't reliable. Tell me whether you believe it or not. I don't need to know who isn't reliable. I know. I'm sharing the news. You say, do you know what? I don't believe it. Someone said to me earlier, like, I don't like it when you share news from sources I don't like. What am I meant to do? It's the news. It's trending. We're here to talk about it. Like, I've got to ring you up. Chris, do you like this source before I do a video on it, bro? Like, I can't do that. But like, for me, a lot of people are saying, why have Man United suddenly become active around midfielders again? Maybe what Man United know is that this Mbappe deal may go through. If Paris Saint-Germain suddenly get 160 million pounds in, will they then come in big time for Paul Pogba?
Ronaldo.
I don't see it being Ronaldo. I think they'll invest the money in Paul Pogba. They don't need another attacker. Messi is the Mbappe replacement. What a replacement. I think they might take that 160 and say, there you go, Pogs. We'll pay you the 400 grand a week. We'll pay Man United a 50 million pound transfer fee. Maybe that's why now we're looking at Neves, looking at Saul Niguez again. These things can definitely be connected to one another. You don't even need insight. You don't even need to speak to an agent. Just use your brain. It's like United weren't looking at anybody else unless we sold somebody. Now we're suddenly looking at midfielders. PSG might be about to sell Kylian Mbappe. The reason they pulled out of the Pogba deal is because after signing Messi, they had no money left because of FFP. But selling Mbappe would surely give them that money. Yes, you're adding 2 and 2. You're adding 2 plus 2 plus 2 and hoping to get 6. But it's logical. It makes sense. So there's definitely a link in relation to that. But we'll see. Listen, young Samuel, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Top, man. Thank you. Tahir says, I believe Guru Terry Fleurs. I appreciate that, bro. Look, I'm just telling you what I think. This is what we're here to do. We give you a chance to speak, give out your opinions and all that jazz. If you want to phone in, I'm going to share the link now in the comment section again. I thought I shared it earlier, and maybe I didn't. But I've shared that link now, so you can come on and have your say. I'll pin the link. I did share it, but I'm going to pin the link in the comment section. We're closing in on that 750 like mark, ladies and gentlemen. Please get that done for us right about now. That would be amazing if you could. I don't know where the comment's gone. I've just put the link in again, but I can't find it now. Everything's really slow. My computer's running really slow. I've had this computer for like 3 years now. I think I'm going to have to invest in a new one. I think we're getting to that point where the new investment needs to come in. The link definitely has been shared. It's in the comment section. But I'm going to go to Collins next. Collins is coming on the show. What are you saying, mate?
Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
Great. What are you here to speak about, bro?
I am a Chelsea fan.
Lovely. Yeah, go on then. Are you here to speak about the transfers?
I need to speak about Arteta and also about the transfer. You understand?
Yeah, speak. Go on then. Go on,
for me as a Chelsea fan, when I look at what is happening in Arsenal, I will tell you how joy I'm feeling joy, you know, because the way they talk about. You remember when Arteta won the FA Cup? Everybody was praising him that he's the best manager. He's better than Lampard. He's better than Ole. So like he's better than Klopp. So like after Pep Guardiola, Arteta is the second. So when I look at the way things is happening, I would like Arteta to stay because the more Arteta stay there and with the PR stuff they keep doing that, the more Arsenal keep going down. So I don't want Arteta to leave. I want Arsenal to extend his contract like another 6 years so that the more he keeps staying there, the more they keep going down. So I don't think they are going to sack him because if you look at the way they keep talking, even when you look at Arsenal, most of Arsenal that have all these big accounts in Arsenal, even the old players, they keep defending him, finding one of the schools or the other. So I want him to stay there for them. It's good for them. Then when it comes to Chelsea, when you look at what is the better time for you to be a Chelsea fan? If you're not happy to be a Chelsea fan, I don't know which club you want to support right now. So for me, Koundé is going to make, for me, is like one of the best sign apart from Lukaku, because having Koundé in Chelsea set up now is going to make everything very easy. A lot of people were like, they don't need Koundé. You look at the whole things. We have Thiago Silva, they have a year contract, Rudiger, Christensen, even Aspi is also getting old. So you need to bring somebody in so that within this year, he will take that time to learn from Thiago Silva, learn from Aspi, even learn from Rudiger, so that by next year, it's not going to be a pressure for him because he already studied the Premiership and also studied the team, you know. He will have time to bend in. So, and when you look at Saúl Niguez, for me,
I do. No,
6 months ago,
I hear you, bro, 100%. Great call, Collins. Thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. We have some more breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Some more breaking news. Smash that like button. Let's go. Seen here as majorly reliable from Football Transfer Zone. Real Madrid have made their first offer to PSG for Kylian Mbappé in the recent hours. This comes from Mario here, who works for Gol Hispania. Seen as highly credible by this outlet. Remember here, we can check this out. This is their tiering, right? They tier incredibly reliable, pretty reliable, average, poor, 0. They have TalkSport in, as you can see here, at like average as an example. They put Sam Lee in here. What is Sam Lee said? Chris is very keen on joining. Oh God. Oh no, I don't want to read that. That is bad news. But there we go. Back to the Kylian Mbappé news. The first official offer has gone. I'm going to give it a little retweet and a bit of a like. Has gone in. That's 2 different journalists now that have put this in, that have put this out there. This is the man who is making the claim. Ladies and gentlemen, smash that like and that share button. Could we be seeing one of the biggest transfers in the history of football? Kylian Mbappé joining Real Madrid. Let's see what happens there. Or Real Madrid to pay it in installments. Would PSG allow that? PSG might get Camavinga and Pogba, Messi and Neymar as their forwards. They if they don't allow it, then what Real Madrid would do is borrow the money from a bank and pay it back in installments with a very, very, very low interest rate. The job I used to do at a bank used to do that, and they throw money at football clubs, even in this climate, because it's pretty much a guarantee. They're secured creditors, so the money's a guarantee. Pretty much a guarantee. You don't lose anything. It's literally for banks. It's printing money. It's honestly, it's the easiest loans they ever do, especially to clubs like that. Can you imagine the global Madrid fan base letting Madrid go bust? It wouldn't happen. Honestly, printing money. Either which way round, it could happen. Jem's with me now. Married man, Jem in the house. Let's do this. Congratulations on getting married, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much. It feels like it's been a long time since I've been on here, but it's only been like a week or so. But yeah,
mate, that's what marriage life does. It drags everything out. It makes it all longer. Do you know what I mean? You brave man. Honestly.
Yeah. No, I am. It was good. It was a good little break, and there's a lot been going on since I've been gone as well. Obviously, the Koundé news is picking up a bit of business again. Saúl Niguez. Now this Kylian Mbappé news as well has come out of the blue as well, isn't it? So it's all interesting stuff, mate. Really.
Yeah, it's
been a crazy transfer window, isn't it, Terry? When you think about it, it seems like the whole Messi thing come out of the blue, and then the Lukaku thing happened, and now we're thinking, all right, it's going to quieten down now, and then all of a sudden, Kylian Mbappé just pops out of nowhere. Chelsea linked to Saúl. It's like, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I think what's happened is what I feel with this transfer window is because, I'll say it's in the right way. It's been the year that PR has really kicked into gear. So, in relation to Man United chasing Saúl Niguez, I'll get attacked here and told off by Man United accounts and journalists for saying what I'm about to say, but I'll say it anyway. Man United are definitely they're attempting in one way, shape, or form to try and sign Saúl Niguez. Whether it's trying to get a deal lined up as an alternative if we don't get Ruben Neves, or he's our number one target. Either which way, we're trying to work a deal out. But we're pushing the narrative that no official bids have gone in, thus we're not that serious, because you guys are winning the race and you guys are more likely to sign him. That's why I think this has been a weird transfer window, because so many deals where clubs have been working hard behind the scenes have been played down as not serious because this line of intermediaries are involved. To me, like, that's where it's... So what you used to get, you would get an outlet say, and this is where people keep overly challenging people's credibility. Some people are just old school. I'm old school. For me, if a bid goes via a third party, an agent, or direct to the club, it's all the same difference for me. But someone will report and say, Chelsea have made a bid for Haaland. And then you get all the kind of tier ones that are like very close to the club saying, no official bids have gone into the football club. Nothing's been rejected. Nothing's been made. So everybody starts to disbelieve those more outlandish claims. It's all just been about our talks are going on behind the scenes. It's like, well, what they spent 6 weeks talking about? They're putting bids in. They're putting bids in and being told no, and they're coming back again. They're literally... So I think because of the way it's been spun now, because of how important PR is, I think that's kind of taken the shine off the transfer window a little bit. Do you get what I mean? I actually like the feeling of, we won the bid. We lost the bid. Now it's like, well, there's never been anything... Like, look at the Varane situation. It was making me die. Man United will make a bid, but only when they know it's going to be accepted. And everyone's like, yes, we haven't made a bid yet, Terry. But how do we know what's going to be accepted until we make a fucking offer, you moron?
Yeah.
Like, it's just buying into the bullshit. Like, and I say it as it is. Do you know what I mean? But no,
you know what?
Go on, mate.
Now, on Saúl Niguez, I just wanted to quickly talk about him, actually. Obviously, you're a Man United fan. Supposedly, Chelsea have, put an offer forward of loan, and there's obviously a buyback. There's a buy clause within his contract as well. Now, if Man United go in and they offer exactly the same as what Chelsea do, we don't know what the wages are yet or what Chelsea are looking to offer in wages, but Man United match that as well. I think he still goes Man United. The only reason I think he goes Man United is I think he gets guaranteed game time. At Chelsea, I think he will be rotation. So even though we have the Jorginho, Kanté and Kovacic, I don't think he will be playing as much. Even though I'd love him at our club, I think the experience that he brings, Champions League winner, La Liga winner, a player that knows how to win things, played at the highest level, would never turn him away. I just think Man United need a player like Saúl Niguez in their team more than a Chelsea do. And I just think he will play more for you guys than he would. And that's why I think he would choose you guys, personally. Mate,
listen, I would love him to choose us over you. Of course I will. I'm a Man United fan. I just feel you're so far down that line with him compared to us. However, Man United this summer have been very, very clever when it's come to their transfers. We've played down. We did it the other day with Tchouaméni. We definitely spoke to his agent. And as soon as that news came out from an international source, they were straight into the tier ones. Tell them we haven't. Tell them we haven't. They're doing the same thing now. And I was told this morning, unequivocally, that Man United have been speaking to the agent. They've now made contact with the club to start looking at what kind of loan option they can do. But because United know they're behind in the race, they play it straight down. They're straight onto the tier ones, tell everyone no official bid, and there's only some loose interest. What the fuck? With a week to go in the transfer window, does loose interest mean? Like, it doesn't mean anything. You're either interested or you're not interested at this. Fair enough. If it was like March, then I would get that. With Saúl Niguez, be up for a move to Manchester. Maybe. All right, we'll give you a bell later on. That's cool. But with 7 days to go of the transfer window, there ain't no loose connections. You're either trying to sign someone or you're not, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Fans have just got to learn to take this stuff on the chin when their club doesn't get picked. There's a comment here that says, Ronaldo will join City. Makes sense for Ronaldo and City in terms of costs. Also, Arsenal's problems are beyond Arteta. Can you see Ronaldo joining City, mate?
Not really, no. I mean, it would tarnish. I think it would tarnish everything that he'd done. I'm not say tarnish, but Man United fans will look at him differently if he goes and makes that decision to go and play there. And yes, if you think from Cristiano Ronaldo's perspective, he goes Man City. The only reason he goes is because he wants to continuously win trophies. That's something that they're going to be doing for the next, continuous couple of years. And going into a team that they currently have, I think he would actually, in many ways, answer most of their problems in terms of a goal scorer. You could play him up front. He wouldn't have to run around that much. You would just put him in the positions, a KDB and a Jack Grealish. We'd just have to find him, and he would score them goals. So from his perspective, I think it would make sense. I just don't think personally it would be a good deal in terms of what it would do for you guys and how it would make Man United fans feel towards him. And there's a lot of love between him and you guys, and there has been ever since he's even left the football club. I just don't think he would want to tarnish that anyway. That's what
I would feel gutted. I would personally feel very, very gutted if he did that. Of course I would. But at the same time, if Mo Salah was available to Man United and he was still could do a job, would I accept him? Probably. I wouldn't want him. You wouldn't go, oh, nah, he's Liverpool. But if he could come in and do a job for your club, you take him at the end of the day. And he's just at that point, Cristiano. Interesting, though, with Cristiano Ronaldo and Pep, just a very different style. I never thought he'd play for a manager like a Pep in the style of football. So it'd be very interesting to see. It does feel like what I've read, though, that it's Ronaldo's team pushing more for the move than it is City pushing for him, if that makes sense.
How would you go PSG if Mbappé is going to go to Real Madrid? That's what I don't get, because if he does go there, why wouldn't PSG look at it?
I remember what Dean said last week. This is an arrogance thing. If Ronaldo goes back to the Prem and is the Golden Boot winner and Premier League title winner, it overshadows anything Messi does in Ligue 1 because the league's more prestigious. And he can then say, I did it in the Prem, I did it in the Liga, I did it in Serie A, and then when everybody said I was written off, I went back to that Prem, the best league, the hardest league in Europe, and did it again. It's a legacy thing, and they can also afford. So I think that's what it is. And the thing with Ronaldo is I think he's want to be regarded as the greatest player ever. I think outweighs any love he has for any football club, no matter who it is. It's a case of if Man United right now were at the peak of our powers, best team in England, considered the best team in England, but we just needed a striker, we'd be signing him because there's no point in coming back to Man United because he could score 40 goals for us, but we might not win the league still. He wants to win. He wants to score because he'll score loads of goals at City. He wants to score loads of goals. He wants to win that league title. And who knows? At Man City, he could win a Champions League. I don't think he's winning one with Juve. They're not a good enough team. At Man City, he could just be that final piece in the jigsaw, scores 30 goals in all comps this season and wins the Champions League. And how much running has he got to do?
Yeah, but the same.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but he could still do that at PSG. The only thing I think they'd have an issue with going to PSG is the him and Messi thing, the conflict. Who would score more goals? This is why I think would it be good to see them both in the same team, just for the competition of who can create, who can score the most goals in the same team? Like, do you think they would actually team up well? Do you imagine actually passing the ball?
I would like to see it. There's a part of me that would love to see it. I said it the other day. It would be like watching Superman and Iron Man in the same film. It's like DC and Marvel coming together. Sometimes you'll see like EastEnders and Coronation Street actors do something for charity, and it's like that's weird. Seeing Phil Mitchell in the Rover's Return, it'd be a little bit like that. To be fair, anyone who's watching from outside the UK, that makes no sense to you, but I hear you on that. Yeah, it's one. I just don't see it happening myself. But stranger things have happened in football and in the transfer window, and who knows, mate? But you're in the studio Friday, right?
I am indeed. Yeah, looking forward to it. You look like you had a good time round.
Yeah, I mean, I think it went all right. Like, I mean, there was definitely some teething issues that we're ironing out like this week, and we're going to be getting resolved. And for anyone who doesn't know, we've got a very, very one of our special guests in the studio outside of our wonderful Football Terrace community. See, Jem's going to be there, David's going to be there, and a number of others. We've also got this absolutely brilliant gentleman that's going to be joining us in the studio as well as our special guest on Friday. Make sure you tune in. Take a look.
You don't know what you're doing. You're a lost soul, mate. 2 games. Conceded 4. 0 points. And who have we got next? Man City. Honestly, I'm sick of it. The performances are terrible. How much have we spent this window? 129 million on a B team. Honestly, the old Arsenal used to shop in Harrods, and now I feel like we're shopping in Shoe Zone. I'm sick of it. We spent the most in the Premier League to be bullied. Someone said an anti-bullying campaign for Pablo Mari, because honestly, he got absolutely violated by Lukaku. The tactics are wrong. We got as much identity as John Cena. Exactly. You can't see me because there is none. Let's have it all.
Yeah, he's in the studio with us on Friday. So make sure you're tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you are tuning in. I know there's a lot of people backstage, but we are at the end of this evening's show. I'm very, very sorry to everyone else that tried to call in. I'm very, very sorry indeed. Thank you very much, as always. We're back tomorrow with more. Unless there's breaking news tonight, we might be back, but we're back tomorrow morning with more content for you. Until then, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again.